All right. Super excited to talk about this topic. Saw an article that came out recently on ABC. They were saying that companies are lowering the requirements in terms of college education. So, as we're gonna play this in a minute, but I just thought it was gonna be so just a really interesting discussion in terms of it says fewer companies requiring new employees to have a degree. Y'all are kind of late. Fewer companies are requiring college degrees. All right. Now, there's a couple of things that come with that because I think we've asked this question on this platform. Do you need a college degree to get a great job? Do you need to get a college degree to have a job in tech? Do you need a college degree? Do you need a college degree? Some jobs you absolutely need a college degree. So don't sit there and be upset at the jobs that need a college degree. If there's a job that needs a college degree and you don't have one, then you don't qualify. All right. So there's some jobs off the bat. If you're going to work for the education system and you want to be a teacher, or you want to be a principal, if you go on their websites and you go and try to be a principal and you try to be a teacher, they require specific certifications, specific educations. They have specific requirements for those jobs. Does it all require a college degree? I don't know, but there are specific requirements. So you cannot bypass that type of job without fulfilling those specific requirements. The same thing goes for being in the medical field. If you want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, you want to be in the medical field, then there's a possibility that you cannot be a doctor or a nurse if you don't get the degree. All right, fair enough. Now that we got that out of the way, all right, because I think people need to understand that you're not going to change, not at least in our lifetime, the requirements that are needed to be certain roles, a teacher, a doctor, in the medical field, certain things like that, surgeons. They kind of want you to have gone through all of those schoolings before you put people's life in danger. All right. So it's not necessarily that you couldn't get the education outside of college. I'm sure you probably could have practiced under someone and learned how to do surgery, but that is not enough. They want you to be licensed specifically for the sake of liability. If something goes wrong, they can pin it to your license, right? They can say you can no longer practice in the state of Georgia anymore, the state of New York, and the state of New Jersey. You can no longer practice. All right, so that's kind of why there's a license. Same thing with a teacher. If you do something that goes left, they can pull your license and say you are no longer licensed by this state. We no longer protect or represent you. Therefore, you are no longer hireable. Fair? All right, sounds good. Now, back to the article. There's an article that it starts off, and it's really just like a video. I said an article, but it's really a video where it goes and it says Walmart CEO, and I don't even know the gentleman's name. I'll find out. It starts off with him, and he's saying that the demands are changing now, right? That they are requiring fewer employees to have a degree. I mean, I think this is kind of twofold, right? I'm like, why are they announcing it? I'm like, I mean, if you go to the job board, you could probably just see that there's jobs out there that don't require a college degree. But if you're announcing it, is there, I mean, there's something there. I don't know. I'm always thinking like, I don't want to say conspiracy. I always want to say that sometimes what they present to you is not what it is, right? So you kind of just have to be on the lookout of what are they really trying to do. One time I was reading some of the comments and they were like, yeah, well, number one in the video, they were like, well, the landscape is changing. You know, it's requiring less it doesn't require to have a college degree to do certain jobs. We know that. Anybody who has worked post college knows that some of these tasks and some of these roles do not require a college degree. Some of them do, right? The college degree is really just the fact that you were disciplined enough to get the degree. That's really kind of what it shows. The employer shows the job market, and it's just something that's just always been required, and it's going to be slow to change. Fair enough? But does all jobs require? No. Matter of fact, I worked at Walmart without a college degree, so I don't even know what Walmart's talking about. But I'm guessing they're talking about kind of like the higher paying. I'm assuming, I don't know, right? I would have to go look at the roles on their website. They're probably talking about some of the higher paying roles. And those higher paying roles, depending on what they are, you still may need a college degree to get into those type of roles and those type of positions, right? But can you work your way up? Absolutely. It's kind of like one of those things where you can work your way up. You could also be just very knowledgeable, so you don't have to start at the start line like everybody else. You could just be super knowledgeable. I had to move that just to check. So if you're knowledgeable in a particular area, right, that could be kind of like your meal ticket, but you have to have skills. You can't just walk around and be like, oh, I ain't got a college degree. I don't have a college degree. Therefore, because I don't have a college degree, I'm going to apply and I'm going to move straight up to the CEO position. I don't think that's the way it works, right? I really do think that it requires some skills, right? And those skills are either attained through some type of formal education or pure studying on your own, pure grit, or through experience, right? That's one of the 4 ways that you can kind of move up in a company, and that is having those skills. So when they tell you that it's not requiring a college degree, I'm looking like, what are they really trying to do? Like, I have my assumptions, right? I have my absolute assumptions. What is happening in the market now? Maybe I need to have another video about that. But I do think, even though in the video that they say pay will not be impacted or affected, I think that's a lie, right? If you know where that reference is from, that is a lie. It may not be impacted today, right? But if you were to look 4 to 5 years down the line, I can bet, I'd put some money on it if I was a betting man, that they're going to start reducing the skills that are needed purely because of how fast technology is moving. You don't need the same skills that you needed before. You don't need to be an expert the way you do it before. The machines are kind of being an expert for you. You just need someone to kind of monitor and be an operator, right, of a machine or of a process. They kind of just need somebody to stand there to make sure it doesn't break from moving from here to here, whatever that process is. And right now, it takes a certain level of expertise for the person that's standing there to manage this process. So if you're supposed to manage, a box that goes from here to right here in the assembly, today, because they're trying to perfect the process and perfect the technology, it requires a person to kind of stand there just in case the box does something crazy or it flips on its side or, whatever. I'm just giving an example. But what I'm letting you know is that eventually there's going to be some technology that's going to be able to determine if the box is kind of flipped on its side, if the box didn't do what it's supposed to do. That technology is going to accommodate for those different nuances. So you need to understand that that's what's happening. So yes, right now, because it kind of requires someone to look at it and observe it, that's the reason why they're saying, oh, hey, you don't really need a college degree. But you have to understand that certain processes and certain roles are becoming obsolete this quick because of technology, right? And this quick might mean a year. This quick might mean 2 years. I don't know. As fast as I see technology moving, I wouldn't be surprised in the next 2 to 3 years that a lot of people pull out some of their manual processes and replaces them with automated processes. Any good business owner knows that you're going to do that. You're going to have to lower your workforce, right? But at first you increase your workforce, then you put some policies and things like that, and then you train some type of model, some type of technology on how to do those processes that humans were doing before, right? So today, does that mean that they'll pay you a high pay? I think so. But I'm letting you know that you need to upskill. So that means that if you're someone who is learning a particular process and you feel like, man, this job might be obsolete in 2-3 years, you need to upskill. You need to learn something new, learn something different, learn something, go past the point of where you're just looking at this process from here to here. Try to move on to this side here, right? Or this side here of your process. Because if you can learn what happens before and after, then you kind of become an asset to the company, right? Not just like one-minded that only knows this to this, but you're knowing kind of what happens before, you're knowing what kind of happens after, which means that if your role becomes kind of obsolete in between these two, you can fit from before or you can fit after. Just think about that in terms of when they start saying, oh, fewer requirements are needed for a job. Yeah, I mean, that's given. It's kind of underlying been there for a long time. The need for a college degree is not the same, and they're not all created equal. That's the big thing. All college degrees are not created equal. Some of them are absolutely a waste of time and money. There's just no question about it. Some degrees are a waste of time and money. That is for you to know and do some research if your degree is a waste of time and money. Hands down, you got to look at your degree 5-10 years from now. You can probably even look. I'm sure LinkedIn has the information of all the people who graduated in a particular degree and what are they doing now. It's just, the data is probably out there. I don't know if they're sharing it with us or not, but the data is absolutely out there. So if you're going to get a college degree, I would not ever tell someone not to get a college degree. You get it. If it's something that you feel like it's an accomplishment, something that you want to do, you do it. But if you're going to do it, make that degree worth it. Make it be something that you can really learn, a practical skill, a skill that can really help you in your career journey, hands down, right? So now, I wonder if I could play the video. It's only like 3 minutes long.
There's so many different ways that people will find their own path to success. You know, for some of us, that means college. For some of us, it means skills. And we have a lot of programs where we want to make sure people have the skills they need to be successful, recognizing that while college is great for some, it's not exactly the right answer for everyone.
All right, it's time now for our last call. That was the CEO of Walmart talking about a growing trend that his company is one of more than a dozen across this country that are dropping college degree requirements for thousands of high-paying jobs. They're opting instead to train workers internally. I want to bring back my panel to talk about this. Let's start with you, Ramesh. I think this is a really fascinating idea here because we know a lot of parents sort of present college as just what you do after high school to their kids. But, you know, we've had Mike Rowe on the show to talk about the importance of trade schools and learning those other skills and how that can help the workplace.
Yes, I think we're in the middle of an overdue reassessment of this question of whether it's right to sort of tell everybody that the only path to success is the traditional college diploma. And we're seeing that in the private sector. We're seeing it in governments. Governments in Pennsylvania and Maryland have also been dropping some of these college requirements for government jobs. Because you don't want to be screening out people who can do the job well. If you do that, you're just stifling opportunity.
And let's talk about the money factor in this, Christina. I mean, kids are leaving school with so much debt right now. This is coming at a time when some private universities reportedly could cost, $90,000 a year for tuition.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's two things that we can celebrate here. One is that there is great opportunities for people that have real life skills and on the job experience to be able to grow in their workplaces. That's great for those employers and those workers. And the last thing we need to make sure we're doing is making sure college is more affordable for everyone, because still the majority of jobs, new jobs in this country, do require a college degree.
They do. And so, Mike, does an idea like this, to hire people, train them internally, they don't need a college degree, does an idea like that undermine the value of higher education?
I don't think it undermines the value of higher education. I think it's actually complementary to having a very diverse workforce with diverse thoughts and backgrounds. I really think, as we talk, Kana, about the widening economic gap and the shrinking middle class, oftentimes not having a college degree is a barrier for a lot of individuals to get to the middle class. So I think this will eliminate that barrier. Second, I think it forces HR departments and human resources officers to think more nuanced about their hiring practices and really rethink these skills and positions, and make more thoughtful intentionality with the recruiting and also too with their hiring.
Absolutely. I mean, college is not a financial option for everybody, and that doesn't mean that they should be exempt from higher paying jobs on the other side. All right, that's it for our last call. Mike, Christina, and Ramesh, thank you so much for being with us. And thank you for streaming with us.
So you kind of heard what they said there, all right? It's it's been around for a long time. They're over here talking about they need to talk to HR departments, and listen, this stuff has been a long time coming. In terms of you as an individual, what you should do, and that's the question, right? At the end of the day, what does it matter to you, right? These companies are going to do whatever they feel like it. End of the day, they are gonna, if it's time for a college degree, they're gonna require it. If it's time for not college degree, they're looking at their bottom line. I want people to remember that Walmart is in the business of making money, not of just like, oh, hiring. No. They have to hire so they can make money, right? So understand this. If they're sitting there saying, hey, you don't need a particular requirement anymore, that means there's something's going to have to change. And more than likely, it's going to be pay. So really what you need to focus on is upskilling and really understanding what is your worth. What do you really understand? Learning something that is truly valuable. That is my total opinion. All right. Learn something that is valuable. And I believe no door will be shut for you. All right. Till the next time.